2, 1, we're live. All right, everybody. Hi, I'm Katie Harris, owner and CEO of NursePreneurs, and I want to introduce my co-host, Jill.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jill Weberding. I'm CEO and founder of NurseAssure.
And Kimball.
Hi, everyone. I'm CEO and founder of Elite Concierge Nurses and IV Hydration Nation.
Yeah, Kimball has to one-up everybody with multiple businesses. So welcome to the NursePreneur Pitchfest. We're very excited to bring this to you today. What we'll be doing is having our contestants. We have 15 contestants and 14 pitches. One group is a duo. And we're going to be doing 2-minute pitches. And the judges today, and we're missing one judge. She should be here shortly. But once she comes on, we are going to get started with the 2-minute pitches. And what we're going to do right now is just talk about the prizes and what they're up for and the whole process. So first things first, like I said, there's 14 pitches. They are 2 minutes in length. If the contestant goes over 2 minutes, we're just going to stop the recording. We're going to stop the pitch. They get cut off at 2 minutes. So number one rule of thumb is to follow the rules, right? So at 2 minutes, they get cut off, and what you hear, there's Gigi, is what you hear.
Yeah, you have to adhere to the constraints of the pitch, and any type of pitch is going to have one. So it's very important that you pay attention to the rules.
Hi, Gigi. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. Do you want to tell everybody what you're CEO of and what you do?
So what I did is I created a course last year. I worked with Katie, and I have a corporate nurse consultant course. It's online, available on gigielize.com, and really that walks a nurse through kind of getting away from traditional roles and entering more non-traditional roles as consultants for healthcare organizations, and really walks them through kind of defining their expertise, updating their resume, they're creating their LinkedIn profile, and really how to emphasize just really the value and the knowledge that they bring when they're working with recruiters or applying for different roles.
Yeah, and Gigi, I would say the real benefit of your course is just getting to know you,
Right.
and get to know Gigi's network. Yeah, she's a powerhouse. It's okay. So we're the 4 judges, and Kimball and Gigi haven't heard these pitches at all. So we're going to play the 2 minutes, then they get cut off. What I was going to say right before Gigi came on was just that more time won't sell more. So, that 2-minute rule, it's actually 2 minutes is almost too long to pitch something. So, but that is the rule. So at 2 minutes, they get cut off. What they're competing for, so out of 14 pitches, only 8 of them are going to move to round 2, which will be tomorrow the same time right here. And we need to decide who the 8 are going to be. So one of the things that we did was create a polling stream for you. And that's what this URL is right here. It's tinyurl.com, Pitchfest 2020. And what it will do is take you to a form, which I'm going to show you right now. And let me know that you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right, so this is the form. This is the Pitchfest. And if you put this URL, this is where you'll come. And we had to ask you for your email address because we can't have the same people just pitching, voting multiple times. Not that anybody would do that, but just in case there's one person out there that wanted to do that. But we're asking that you choose at least one candidate. You can choose up to 8 and no more than 8. But choose one candidate at least from each group, and there's 4 groups in total. Which means, you don't have to choose 8 people, but we prefer that you choose 8 and help us to decide who moves forward. The criteria today, let me take this out. The criteria for the pitch, and we'll talk about it after we listen to the first group, but the criteria are, did you find the pitch interesting? Can you remember the pitch after 2 minutes or after 6 minutes, once somebody else starts giving a pitch. Was it believable? Did you have a clear picture of the audience who was being targeted? So
Yep.
if you're not specifically, like, let's say, the pitch didn't speak to you directly, but you're like, I know my friend Sue would really need something like that. Okay. So if you can remember it and identify somebody in your mind who could use that program of service. And the fifth criteria was the presenter trustworthy? Did you believe them? Do you believe that they can actually help you? And that has a lot to do with confidence, and that's what we're going to be talking about during the pitches.
Yes. Let's get started. I'm so excited.
Let's get started. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to get started. Let me know if you guys have any last words. And otherwise, we will start with Miss Gail. Oh, did I forget?
You have to share your screen.
Hold on. You know what I did? I did that thing, Jill, where I didn't do the thing.
You didn't check the box?
I didn't check the box. So hold on, I gotta fix this.
Right?
All right, so you guys chit chat for a second.
It's always the details that get you, which, again, and we did have, I know, at least one submission that was over the 2-minute mark. And we did, kind of come in and say, okay, 2 minutes. And so there might be at least one that does get cut off because they were over. So just like, Katie said, you have to earn your spot to talk more. So you have to pass this round and show in order to earn being able to give the next slightly more in-depth pitch, which is tomorrow. And that's 5-minute pitches. And we'll hear that only from the top 8. So they've got to earn their way to get into your mind and ours as the judges, that they can go in a little bit deeper and tell us a little bit more.
All right, can you see my screen?
Looks good. We can see it.
Right. And if you cannot hear audio, please tell me in the next 3 seconds, okay?
I will.
It's your fourth 12-hour shift in a row. You've picked up 2 admissions already, and you can't wait to finish the shift. And then you hear it. Help me, somebody. Help me. You tear down the hall and find your new admission sitting on the floor in a puddle of urine. Mrs. B came in with pneumonia, but she also has Alzheimer's. She has no idea where she is or who you are. All she knows is she had to pee. You remind her again to call for help to get out of bed. She hears the frustration in your voice and starts to cry. I want to go home. Why am I in prison? No, no! And now it's all you can do not to sit down and cry with her. Hi, I'm Gail Wetherill, aka the Dementia Nurse. If you work in acute care these days, you won't be surprised to hear that 1 in 4 adults that walks through our doors has some degree of dementia. Yet most nurses get very little training in how to meet the complex needs of these patients. We went into nursing to help people. And when we don't have the knowledge and the skills that we need to do that, it's very frustrating. It's one of the biggest frustrations for bedside nurses. Over the last 20 years, I've developed ways to reach people living with dementia, even when they're at their worst. And today, I want to offer to teach you those methods in the hospital patient with dementia, how to engage their mind without losing yours. This course gives you practical steps you can use immediately.
All right. So you're writing down the criteria. Did you find it interesting? Can you remember the pitch? Was it believable? Do you have somebody in mind that this could help? And was the presenter believable? All right, the next one is Jenna Erickson.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jenna Erickson, labor and delivery nurse turned home birth advocate. I help families who are feeling disempowered by their current prenatal and hospital birth options to explore their options for giving birth at home or at a birth center. When I chose to step outside the normal model of medical care to have a home birth with my second child, it was not an easy decision. Years of training and experience in the hospital had taught me that birth was something to be managed. But this also allowed me to see the realities of what this looks like for many families, which is a highly medicalized birth, often with many unnecessary interventions that leaves many feeling anywhere from disappointed to traumatized. Everything in my heart and soul was screaming, this is not the way that birth is supposed to be. So this got me started finding all the information I could on things like the safety of home birth. And what I came to realize is that the mind and body really are best supported to go through labor and birth in the comfortable environment of your home or a birth center. Putting all of this information together really helped me to be confident in my decision. If your heart is pulling you in this direction, you owe it to yourself to explore the options. I'll also help you with the practical aspects of finding a qualified provider, getting your partner on board, and deciding how to include family and friends while protecting your own mental space. You deserve to have all the information and support you need to make a confident decision for your birth, and I'm here to guide you through it. You can read more about the course by following the link, and be sure to join the waitlist. We'll get started in December. Thanks. I wish for you an empowered birth experience.
All right, we got two more, and then we're going to have a discussion. Next one is Vivian.
Are you an RN, a new grad whose excitement over landing your first nursing job has turned to fear and frustration? And you don't know why. You survived nursing school, passed the NCLEX, and then went through orientation feeling pretty confident because you were able to handle every situation that came your way. But now you're off orientation and you have your own patient assignment, which can be really exciting because that's what you have worked so long and so hard for. But with that comes, a lot of responsibility and some fears because you're afraid to make a mistake. You're afraid to miss something and you just want to get everything right. Before long, you come across situations that you don't have any experience with, and you never had to deal with it in nursing school or orientation. So you ask for help and you get it for a while. But before long, it just feels like everyone is just so busy and you don't want to bother. And you no longer have a preceptor. So it gets to be pretty overwhelming and you start feeling all alone. Hi, I'm Vivian Rollins, and I've been working with new grads for decades now. And this program, I want to provide you with the support and mentorship that you so desperately need right now. I want to help you as you transition into the real world of nursing. I'll give you honest answers to your questions, and you'll have a safe private community where you can discuss your fears and struggles with others who are feeling the exact same way. I'll give you strategies that you can start using immediately to help you overcome your challenges and conquer your fears. It'll be my pleasure, and I look forward to working with you as you learn to stop doubting yourself and start feeling more confident in your nursing practice as you begin to think, act, and feel like a nurse.
And last one.
Good evening, entrepreneur nurses. My name is Marcella Ettinger, and this is my partner,
Kenny Hagee, and we're here today as your clinical educators for our new HEDIS boot camp training for medical professionals.
Are you tired of working those long hospital hours? Tired of always working short staff? Or even tired of working weekends? Well, we have something for you. If you could find a career that allows you to have more time with your family or needing the additional time spent vacationing during the summer, but provides you that high rate of income that you have always wanted, then you will want to learn more. The demand for the top HEDIS nurses is heating up now. These hiring agencies and MCOs are currently in that narrow window for hiring HEDIS specialists, causing the time to be critical for those you wish to apply for job placement.
Although the majority of HEDIS nurses do not begin working until the start of January, now is the time to get started. For many of those agencies and MCOs are in that planning process of looking ahead to get an early lead on the best talent that's available out there. They are specifically looking for those individuals that are experienced and trained nurses to fill those spots, which can turn into your long-term career. If you've never done HEDIS, that's okay, because our training sessions are provided by clinical experts such as ourselves, who can provide you all the necessary resources to start you off towards that rewarding, lucrative job opportunity. Our classes will assist you in obtaining one of those positions by providing the confidence that you need in order to land that job you have dreamed of. So let us be your partner in making that resume rise above. With our certificate of completion, you'll go to the top of the pile. If you're wanting that opportunity to work in HEDIS, don't delay. Sign up today. Learn more.
Okay, let me put this one on pause. And let's talk about these four. All right, let me take this off for a second. All right, guys, so we have Gail, Jenna, Vivian, and Penny. And I'm going to ask, because Kimball and Gigi didn't have any involvement in any of these pitches at all, and they're not, you know, like they're just not in the trenches with the students, so they're going to have a more objective opinion than maybe Jill and I. So the questions are, you know, let's start with Gail. And I'm going to put a timer on so that we don't go over 10 minutes here, because we got to stay on track. But did you find her pitch interesting? Can you remember the pitch? Was it believable? Do you have a clear picture of who her program is for? And was she a trustworthy presenter? Kimball.
So
Either it's
oh,
fine.
go ahead.
I'll go. Yeah, I did find her pitch interesting. I thought it was creative for her to use the little animation, the little scene like she did. Also, I did find it memorable. I would remember it, and I do think people could use the training for dementia patients. I do agree that nurses, you know, often don't get that training that they need, and she was trustworthy. So yeah, I liked hers.
Gigi?
Yeah, so I would agree. I think she met all the marks in terms of being interesting. It was creative. It was memorable because of the kind of different intro. It was more like a commercial, right? It had that effect.
Yeah.
Definitely a clear picture of the target, understood who her audience was, and she was trustworthy. And I think credibility, she helped lend to that credibility, because she took the time to mention like what her experience and her background was in that area. So I think that was important, and it was good that she slipped that in. So I think she hit all the marks on that one.
Yeah, I think it's vital they slip in their credibility piece of that. You know, I would say I'm going to go slightly negative on this and say that I found the intro part of that a little distracting, because it was very creative and it was very commercial-like, but it wasn't very like conversational, like, hi, you know, have you had this problem? You know, and I don't think the problem was stated, you know, that nurses, and she did it very creatively with a story. But I don't know. What do you think, Jill?
I like that it is unique and it was creative to use the animation, but I really want to develop trust immediately with a person who I'm going to be working with. And so if she wanted to do the animation and kind of build that story, I would have really liked to have seen her first. I would have liked her to introduce herself, and then imagine you've probably been in this scenario, and then bring in the animation to kind of put us all, you know, set the scene. It was, but I like the creative approach. I just would have liked to have that personal connection immediately from the get-go.
All right. How about Jenna?
So Jenna, I thought it was informative. I think she hit on some good points. I thought it was believable. I understood who she was targeting. I think she used maybe a lot of medical jargon. And so it was very high level in terms of the terms that she used. And so I think it was hard that lacked a certain interest, I think, because it felt medical. It felt very medical. So for a second, I was like, is she aiming this at nurses, or is she aiming this at like the average person? And toward the end, I said, oh, this is like a pregnant woman who's considering her options. So I think it was a little bit too high level. And I thought that perhaps some more feeling, emotion. It felt like a little bit too educational, a little too academic, I think, overall. So definitely she hit points on being believable, picture of the target, but I think we needed a little more of interest, making it memorable, that kind of thing. So,
Kimball.
Yeah, I would agree. Honestly, if I wasn't actually looking for this exact topic, I would not have stopped to listen to it. She didn't capture me right away. So I didn't think it was very interesting, really, at first. And then, like I said, if I was looking for something like this, then okay, yeah, fine. But no, I probably wouldn't remember it if it's not something I'm actually looking for directly, And then, yeah, she seemed very smart. She was trustworthy. So I did believe her, and I do feel like she made a clear picture of who would benefit from this. However, it just wasn't that interesting to me. I'm sorry. Yeah.
And the funny thing is that I think this topic is absolutely amazing, and there might be some element of doing video for the first time and putting the pitch out there that I think comes into play here, because when Jenna talks about this off of video, she's very animated. It's very interesting, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I wish I had known Jenna before I had my son, because I would have been interested in these topics. But I would agree with Gigi and Kimball. It was a little too high level, and I think that she needs to, especially with moms that are looking for solutions, I think she needs to connect with them in a more at a deeper level.
Yeah. I'll add my 2 cents too. The thing that actually jumped out with me is, and I would agree with Katie. I've had more conversations with Jenna, so she is ordinarily much more animated when she talks about her topic. She's clearly very passionate about it, but I still felt like on the video, she came across very confident and knowledgeable about the topic. I think it was a little bit too high level, but it's a very specific niche. So I think needs to go in knowing, and I think Jenna does know that this is she's only going to pull her audience. It's not a wide general audience. It's a very specific group who is, pregnant at the time and considering this option. So it's a smaller niche than what some of the other ones are, but I felt like she was confident in front of the camera. And the only other thing that jumped out at me was, I really wish maybe that she would have looked a little bit more professional in front of the camera. Like it was, I'm kind of looking down her hallway, and not that appearance is everything, but there are first impressions there. And so if you're coming across as a nurse with a lot of experience, then you want to be, to me, that builds into the trustworthy part is appearance, what that first impression is.
All right, Vivian.
Go ahead, Kimball.
I don't remember what Vivian talked about.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm thinking about it. So it's the students, right? It's the students.
Yes,
new grads.
Yes, I would not have remembered that had I not really been thinking about it. I thought Vivian was really a nice looking lady and probably very smart, and she's very right about new grads. But again, I wasn't that interested in it. And I don't know if it's because I'm not a new grad anymore, or I don't, I don't know, but I believed her pitch. I thought she was trustworthy. I didn't really find it very interesting, and I almost didn't remember it. Sorry.
Gigi?
I had a different feeling from that. I found her, for someone who wants to be a coach, essentially, I think, for a new grad, I found her very comforting, very therapeutic. She came across to me as very confident. So yes, I found it interesting. I thought it was maybe not so memorable. I might agree on that one, but definitely believable. I understood who her target was, and I found her very trustworthy. And I think if I were a new grad seeking, again, this is like a very specific niche, right? If I were a new grad seeking, looking at people out there who could do coaching for me and I were interested in there, she definitely gave me that feeling of comfort. Like this is someone who I would find very approachable and would want to work with.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, first Vivian, like that, her video and the setting that she set up, gorgeous. Her hair and makeup, gorgeous. The outfit that she's wearing, here was a woman that you're like, wow. Like I was just looking at her like, wow, she's really impressive. And, maybe the same thing, I wasn't really listening all to what she was saying, but she did hit on some of the pain points of the students, and I think that's really powerful. And she had a solution, and I found myself nodding when she was talking. I was like, yeah, no, exactly. And that's definitely something that you want. Jill?
Yeah, I had the same feeling when I first saw this. When it first unfolded, I was like, man, she has got it together. Like she was very thoughtful about her background. She was very thoughtful about her appearance, and gives you that put together feel. And so to me, that inspires trustworthiness and tells me that, okay, if she's this together for her pitch, imagine I would expect that's going to transfer into her course as well. I felt like she was very trustworthy, like Gigi mentioned, and that, she does, I think some people have this fear, this bad stereotype of nurses eating their young. And like Vivian seemed like the person that every new grad needs to get in touch with, right? Because she's just going to like, it's fine. I'll show you. I'm going to give you the strategies. I'm going to help you out. It's totally normal. We're going to get through this. I thought she was very, compassionate about, how she was going to help and serve. And so I think that's going to, come across. So yeah, I think she did a great job.
All right. And then we have Penny and Marisol.
Okay, so I didn't feel that this video was like as polished as maybe it could have been. And so when they first started talking, I wish they would have maybe given more information about like what HEDIS is. Potentially, not everybody has heard of HEDIS. So while they were kind of queuing up, getting you excited about working from home and what that means, I think it was like toward the latter half that you heard like the word HEDIS, right? Even though it's in the title of the video, they didn't really talk about it too much and kind of provide some information on what that is. But that's very niche, doing the quality measures for the HEDIS. So I didn't find them that interesting. It seemed like two women yelling, right? The way the volume was and kind of the technology set up there. So it was like on being memorable, on being believable. I understood who the target was, but then trustworthy, they didn't establish that. Like I see two nurses with stethoscopes, but I don't know who they are and why are they qualified to teach me about this subject.
Kimball?
All right. Well, I like them. Actually, I like their enthusiasm. I thought they were memorable to me, and maybe because they were so excited about what they were talking about. However, I do agree that they didn't really explain what they were talking about very well in the beginning. I even found myself saying, okay, what are they talking about? However, I remember them as not necessarily their topic. I did find them believable, probably because they were so excited about what they were talking about. Trustworthiness, maybe had they had a little bit more explanation about what they were telling us about, it would have made them a little more trustworthy, is what I think. And so I found it interesting, yes, but they could use a little bit more polish, like setting wise.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. Like, I appreciated their enthusiasm, but the enthusiasm almost bordered on very kind of car salesy, like buy this car now, like that type of enthusiasm. And I've struggled with HEDIS for a long time, and it feels like a drug or something, or some kind of condition.
What is it?
But
Exactly.
I don't know, like, yeah, what is HEDIS? And it depends on which market you're talking to, right? If you're talking to a bunch of nurses that already know what HEDIS is, then you want to talk more about the benefits of working with you. But if you're trying to talk to an audience that wants to work from home, you have to give more explanation of what HEDIS is, before you can get to that point. Jill?
Yeah. For me, the thing that was the most distracting was how far away they were in the pitch. And so I know that sounds like ridiculous that you have to think about, camera angle and what you're wearing and what your background is, but it matters. Like it's just distracting. And so I think that they wouldn't have had to have sound or seem like they were yelling if they would have been much closer to the camera and had mics, that you still could have seen them. And I actually loved their enthusiasm. I'm an enthusiastic person too, so maybe I just gravitate to that, but I love their enthusiasm for the topic. I think that they could have I agree. I think they could have done a better job either explaining what HEDIS is, but what I really would do is say, if you're looking to stay in nursing and work from home, we have the mechanism for you, and it's HEDIS, and it's quality, and it looks like this. And we're the ones to teach you because we're an educator, and, give their credibility in there. So I think that, it's just a few tweaks that they've really got something there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, to be fair to everybody, these are very, very, very hard to do. And we are not criticizing anybody. I just want to make that very clear that we are super impressed with what these nurses have done. We are just helping them to move to the next level.
Yeah.
Now, you can vote by going to tinyurl.com/pitchfest. And put in your vote if you want to open up the form now and just vote for who you want in group one. Choose at least one person in group one, but we do have more, so we're going on to the next group. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. The next person we have here is Mariah.
Age, there is going to be a huge need for nurses to take care of patients at the end of life. Have you ever been at the bedside of a dying patient and felt you wished you had more tools to care for them and be present for their family? I'm Mariah Edgington, a registered nurse at the bedside for over 30 years. I train nurses to integrate holistic therapies into their practice so that they may be more present for the family and the patient at the end of life, to provide the patient with a more peaceful transition. In this 4-week course, The Peaceful Transition, you will learn to integrate holistic therapies into your toolbox. Each week, we will go deeper into the holistic therapies to provide you comfort and confidence in the work that you need to do. Now, this does not speak to everyone. So only nurses who feel drawn to take care of patients at the end of life, or would like to switch gears out of the rat race of bedside acute nursing and ease into a more holistic practice. This is for you. We need to train more nurses in holistic modalities so you can be present with patients at the end of life. Join me in this 4-week journey where we will build your confidence and your competence through repetition, each week layering deeper, getting you to a place where you're comfortable and you can stand strong with your knowledge and your skills at the bedside of a dying patient. The peaceful transition is for you. Join me.
All right, now we have Vanessa.
Are
Are you sick of feeling at your wit's end because conventional treatments are continuously failing your child with autism spectrum disorder? Are you constantly researching and trying alternative options that you're just unsure if they're safe or effective, often doubting the decisions you're making for your child? What if I told you there is a safe and effective alternative option that can improve your child's violent outbursts, their hyperactivity and repetitive behaviors, while improving their communication? And what if, when the science behind this alternative option is applied, it works? I've seen it with patients. This alternative is not a miracle nor a cure, but what it is science with certainty and evidence. And this option is the key to unlocking your child within. Medical cannabis is not a miracle, it's not a cure, but what it is science with certainty and evidence, and it's quality of life for your child and your family. At Elevated Healing, we uncover the latest updates on safety and case studies to determine whether medical cannabis is truly an option you should explore for your child's health and well-being, providing the foundation you need to make the best decision possible. Before I leave here, I just wanted you to take a minute, close your eyes, and just imagine what your child's and family's life could be when you are holding the key to unlocking your child within. To learn how you can hold this key, sign up today for Elevated Healing's course, Unlocking the Child Within, Understanding Cannabis Options with Autism Spectrum Disorder. Thank you.
All right, the next one is Kanisha.
Imagine with me for just a moment, if you will. It's 4:30 a.m. Your alarm goes off. It's time for another 12-hour shift, but you are exhausted from your last shift. On your way out the door, you grab an umbrella because you hear the forecast that warns of heavy rain and thunderstorms. After report, the doctor comes in and berates you for an incident that occurred on the previous shift. You're not even 4 hours into your shift when the school nurse calls. You need to pick up your little one who has a fever, and your manager is not happy with that. At this moment, you begin to think, is there a better way? Well, there is. Are you ready to use your critical thinking skills in a different way to solve problems for patients? Do you want more autonomy over managing your assigned cases? Does it excite you to think you can make top dollar and have the freedom and flexibility you need in your schedule? Are you ready to work from home? If you are ready to join other nurses who've said, this is the best career move I've made, then I have a course for you. I created a course that will show you how to easily transition your current knowledge and skills into the specialty of case management. You gain an insider's view that places you steps ahead of the competition. I also provide you direct referrals.
Okay, and the last one is Anna.
When was the last time you had a great night's sleep? The kind of sleep where your head hits the pillow and you wake up in the morning feeling refreshed and energized and ready to face the day? Well, when you have fibromyalgia, getting good quality sleep can be very challenging. Studies show that people who have sleep deprivation have increased pain, decreased mood, brain fog, digestive issues. Any of those sound familiar to you? Hi, my name is Anna. I'm a registered nurse, and I help women with fibro get better quality sleep. Now, there's no magic pill, no one-size-fits-all solution. You've already tried numerous medications, and you may still not be getting the quality sleep that you need, but sleep is the key to starting to feel better and having more energy and managing your symptoms. If you're ready to break the cycle of constant pain and exhaustion, and you'd like to try alternative strategies to manage your fibromyalgia symptoms, then I encourage you to sign up for my 4-week program where I walk you through step by step and teach you simple strategies that you can use start getting you a better night's sleep. My goal is to help you to sleep better so that you can feel better.
I want you to imagine.
Let's put this on hold and come back. And all right, so first one was Mariah.
Peaceful transition. Oh, sorry.
Was it memorable?
So I mean, I took notes, but so Mariah came off to me very soothing, but so soothing that it perhaps would not have been, it probably is not memorable. Like she needed a little more pep to keep people engaged and interested. So yeah, I didn't feel the excitement in her voice. It was so calm and so soothing and kind of slow. The pace was a little slow. I did think she was believable. I did have a clear picture of her target, and I did find her very trustworthy. I just felt like it lacked a certain like mojo to it.
You're on mute.
Okay. Yes, I'm on mute. Sorry. Mariah, yeah, I have some mixed feelings about her. I do think she was trustworthy. I do think that she was clear in her message, you know, who would benefit from it. I do think she was believable. And I would remember it because I thought it was so funny how she was whispering to us. So, and I get it that she was trying to have that, you know, really calm voice because of its end of life. So she kind of made her voice relate to what the topic was. But I thought it was just so funny how she was whispering. I don't know. But was it interesting? Not really, but I would have listened just because she was whispering.
So an interesting pattern interrupt for anybody out there. And it does actually work if you're talking loud and then you'd whisper, everybody will lean in and listen. Yeah, so it is actually something that's useful. I'm just not sure for 2 minutes. The one thing that I got that I always get hung up on is this term holistic therapies, and she used that word or that phrase a lot, and it doesn't have any meaning to me. I mean, I think I'm supposed to like holistic therapies. I think it's supposed to be positive. I just don't know what that means. Does it mean is holistic cannabis, or is it oils, or is it chanting or Reiki, or like what is holistic therapy?
Yeah. I'm very similar to that. I like literally found myself kind of leaning in to try to hear her. And Mariah definitely fits. It's a tricky subject, right? And I'm a cancer nurse by trade. So I get end of life. It would be very strange to say, are you ready to help someone die easier? You know, like you do have to match your topic, but I felt like it was so peaceful. She definitely gives off that aura, but I like want to call her right now to give me a guided meditation because I would be like, woo, you know,
that'd be good. I like that.
Right?
The guided meditation. Yeah, it should be a good voice for that.
Very calm. And it would be perfect for teaching these techniques. But I think when you're pitching it, like you said, I would have liked to seen a little bit more enthusiasm or a little bit more to draw some additional engagement. But I definitely feel like she was very trustworthy in the subject. And I would have liked to have heard what holistic therapies kind of just even like such as, you know, and name a couple of the things that she's going to do to help paint that picture of what learners are going to get in her course.
Right. Because if she's doing like crystal healing or something, it might be, she might turn off people that don't want to do that. Go ahead, Gigi. Sorry.
And I got the sense when I was listening, I felt like we were missing some very soft music in the background. I don't know why, but I feel like that would have helped a little bit. Something very, very soft, but it was so quiet. I think it was because it was so quiet that it would have been nice to hear a little.
Yeah.
So, just a suggestion.
Well, in terms of music, the next one was Vanessa.
Yeah.
So I really liked Vanessa. I think she was confident in the way she spoke about her topic. I thought she was interesting. I thought she was believable, trustworthy. I liked the music behind her. The only thing I would say is that initially I thought she was talking about autism, not cannabis. And then as she, led up to it a little bit more, I realized, oh, it's cannabis for autistic children, that it may help. So, but otherwise, I thought she was really, she did really good. She did a great job.
Gigi?
Met all the time.
Yeah, I agree. I found her interesting, memorable, believable. I did see the clear picture of the target and trustworthy. I found her trustworthy because of how she presented, but I do think perhaps that it kind of injecting her credentials or who she is at some point, I think would help with the credibility. I did like the music. I felt like it was kind of very soft, and then it picked up a little bit as she was saying, like, well, there's hope. I felt like, oh yeah, there is hope. There's something we can do here. So I think it was, it complemented her presentation very well.
Yeah, music's tricky because if you want that hope to come in at the good point,
Right
not when
time.
you're talking about something depressing. So it's gonna be tricky. Yeah, no, I liked it a lot. I thought that pitch was very good. I would say that it's nice to add music, but you don't walk around with music while you're giving your pitch. So it definitely needs to stand alone without music. And I think in this case it definitely would.
Yeah. In this scenario too, I thought the music added to it. It did definitely. She timed it perfectly to build. I felt that build as well, which just helps you kind of sink into the message and come along with her on the ride of where she's taking us to the transformation of the potential of what it could do. I thought she was extremely confident. She, was thoughtful about how she showed up in front of the camera. She looked very trustworthy. And I liked that she, specifically for this audience, that she talked a little bit about the evidence, like we're here about the latest updates and the research, because for this group, they are very research-based, and where some lay groups, you would be like, oh, we don't want to know high level. They are intensively research-oriented. So I think that's going to give her some credibility and trustworthiness with the audience as well. So I think great job.
All right, Kanisha.
Kimball.
Oh, okay. Kanisha was, I would not remember what she was talking about. I thought she had really long pauses between everything she was saying, and she didn't get to the point quick enough for me. So she made some good points about, this happening when you're leaving the house and the kid got to pick them up and all this good stuff. So she made great points. However, she took too long to get to those points for me. I don't think it would have kept my interest, and I probably would have not listened to the whole thing to figure out if I wanted to work from home or not. So, was she trustworthy? Maybe. She didn't say a whole lot about herself. She just gave us scenarios. A clear picture. I didn't really get a clear picture right away, but eventually we did. Was she believable? Yes. Everything she said, it was true. We all have been there. We all gone through things like that. Would I remember it? I don't know that I would have remembered it, and I didn't find it really interesting.
Gigi?
I would agree. I feel like her pitch needed to probably be better rehearsed so that her delivery would have been more polished. And so because of that, I found myself distracted by the long pauses, almost as if she was going to the next slide.
Yes.
Next slide in a PowerPoint. And I found myself distracted. So I knew that she was talking about an opportunity to work from home. But at the end, I said to myself, wait, what was it? Was it case management? Like, because I remember reading it. So I feel like it perhaps was not memorable. I was very distracted. It was very we were playing ball. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna pass the baton now.
I would agree too. And I think, I think it's really powerful to put imagery in there and create that story, but sometimes you can put too much in. I think she could have wrapped that up in maybe like the first 10 seconds or 15 seconds and then moved in, because unlike HEDIS, that was something that we don't know anything about. Most nurses would know what case management is, and she could elaborate. I think she could bring that in and maybe elaborate a little bit, but I think mentioning case management earlier might have helped retain and just really focus not so much on the negative, like the doctor berating you, but the positive of like, what's it now you're sitting on the beach and you're on the phone like with a patient solving his problems, and that kind of, so more positive imagery than negative, but the negative is powerful as well. Just you don't want to lay it on too thick.
Yeah. I would agree with everybody here. I think the build was way too slow in the beginning. And I'm a story girl too. I think it does make things generally more memorable. But I agree. It could have been wrapped up so that just all needed to be tightened up for me in the beginning, because I was waiting to get to what it is that you're doing for us in your course. The tricky things, I think she was believable. I think, again, she dressed the part and all that. I think it was probably practice, like Gigi mentioned, rehearsing your pitch. It's so important to do that because it just feels much more conversational. Those pauses, they were killer for me because I'm like, get to it. Like, just tell me what you want. You're like, what do you have for me?
Jill and I are both like, you have an amazing topic. And
I know. Well, and that's the part, because I feel like if people would, if they do stick till the end on hers, what she actually talks about in case management, that working from home and that I'm going to give you strategies that get you steps ahead of the competition. And right before she cut off, she said the words direct referrals. And I was like that. I think people there's so many nurses right now desperate to get out of the hospital with all the COVID stuff, that when she gets to her topic, I mean, if they stay with her, I think they're going to sign on anyway, because they want so badly what she's, offering.
But that's the thing. If they stay with her,
you're right.
I gotta go. Because
get to it.
Yeah.
Right. All right, Anna.
So Anna, fibromyalgia. I thought she was trustworthy. I thought memorable. I guess I think I'm struggling a little bit with the memorable. I'm not sure right now, because when I was watching it, I was like, she checks all the boxes. But maybe a little more energy and enthusiasm in the pitch. But I think otherwise believable. I understood the target. She was trustworthy to me. So maybe, but again, maybe a little bit more, I know it's a serious topic. And she's offering hope to people, I think. So that was believable to me. But yeah, maybe, I don't know if it was just me, but it was just like a little bit of an energy thing there.
Kimball?
Okay. I liked Anna. I thought she was trustworthy, and she made a clear picture of who would benefit, and that her pitch was believable. Memorable, maybe not so much, because I remember her topic, but not really some of the things that she said. So, but is that an interesting topic? Yes. However, a little bit of more energy and maybe something to help me remember really what you're talking about all the way through, instead of just the topic, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I would say her set and setting were great. She looked great. Her voice was powerful. I remember the topic because you don't hear all that much about people in fibromyalgia. You just don't. So the topic is very memorable, but you're right. The message, what does she do with fibromyalgia? Whoa, sleep. That's what, yeah, like, so yeah, there was the sleep component that just came to me. But yeah, so I think that the message has to be a little bit more keyed in. What do you think, Jill?
I would probably agree with everything that's been said to me. To me, the set and setting were great. Voice, volume, all that was great. It was just the energy level for me is what I wanted to see more of. I know a lot of people personally who struggle with fibromyalgia, so the topic was very interesting to me because I know the ones who do struggle with it. Like many of them feel completely hopeless. So I think the fact that that's what she's offering, that there are alternative, you don't just have to do what your doctor, like that's not the end of the road. I think she has a really powerful course and message, but I think it's not coming all the way through like it could if her energy was a little bit different.
All right, so we're going to do the next set, and what I'm going to do is, you guys can still see my screen, right?
Yes.
We're going to group number 3, so make sure you choose one person, and it's this tinyurl.com/pitchfest2020. Choose at least one person from group 1. You can choose all 4 if you want, but at least one, and at least one from group 2. And now we're going to work on group 3, and let's get started. Push this back a little bit.
I want you to imagine this. Imagine being so massively supported and not having to transition from new grad NP to practice ready NP alone. How would this support allow you to show up differently for yourself and for your patients? Look, I know where you are and I know how you feel. In fact, I might even take a guess to say that you're feeling a little overwhelmed, frustrated, and lost right now. How do I know this? Well, because I've been in your shoes before. Hi, if we haven't met before, my name is Ananya, and I am a nurse practitioner, coach, and mentor. New grad NPs come to me when they are hungry to ditch the overwhelm, excel in their clinical role, and transform into indispensable leaders in their fields. What if I told you that I can help you transform from novice NP to a confident clinical decision maker who is ready to exceed not only your own expectations, but that of your employers? Would you want in? This is exactly why I'm so excited to invite you to something special that I've been working on just for you. I want to personally invite you to Cold Feet to Confident Clinician, an 8-week mentoring program that is packed with value and knowledge from my years of clinical practice as an NP. In this program, you can expect not only jam-packed modules with high-level overviews of the exact next steps you take to go from commencement to contract and beyond, but also you will receive weekly coaching calls that are structured every week from me and one-on-one strategy sessions where I help you customize your roadmap in a private and supportive community unlike any other. So if you're ready to say yes to yourself and see a return on investment that is career long, then I am ready to serve and support you. Spots are limited, but I invite you today to.
Okay, next one is Michelle.
There are over 40 million adults in the United States who suffer with anxiety, making it the most common mental illness in the US. Those who have anxiety know how debilitating it can be. It affects not only our mind, but our body as well. When we experience stress, our fight or flight response becomes activated. As humans, our primitive brains adapted to constantly scan our environment to look for threats. It did that in order to keep us safe. But when you take that same adaptation and put it in the modern world, it doesn't serve us. In today's world, we don't have to be afraid of lions and tigers and bears, but there are so many other things that our brain can perceive as dangerous, like running late for work, a car swerves in front of you, a loved one isn't texting you back. All of these things can kick your fight or flight response into gear and cause anxiety. When we experience anxiety, there's often a trauma from the past that needs to be identified and healed in order for us to stop feeling anxious. That's exactly what we do in my anxiety course. It's called Crush Your Anxiety in Minutes. We learn how anxiety becomes ingrained into our bodies, and we're able to break that cycle. We dig deep to uncover our traumas, and we use a technique that allows us to process our emotions so that we can actually heal from them instead of letting them build up inside. With my course, you will break free from anxiety and create the incredible life you have always imagined. You will master the techniques that stop anxiety within minutes, and you'll learn to control your thought patterns. You will unlock the door to a new life without constant worry. And the best part, no meditation, yoga, or breathing exercises required.
Okay, so Jean is on a separate page, so I'm going to go to her. Just open this.
Hello. Have you thought to yourself that you'll never get control of your health, never lose weight or those stubborn belly fat? You start a new diet, you start a new workout plan, and that's it. You start, but never really get to your goal. And most importantly, never really develop lifestyle changes that could sustain you for many years. If that's you, I want you to know that you're not alone. Losing weight and developing lifestyle, healthier habits are some of the most challenging areas for many, especially busy women. My name is Jean, and I'm a nurse practitioner who specializes in helping busy women reclaim their health, lose weight, and boost their energy. Over the years, I've discovered time-saving strategies that I've incorporated in my own busy schedule to maintain my weight, to feel healthier and more confident. As I move into my 50s, I feel stronger, healthier, and more confident in my body than I did before. And that's why I created Time-Saving Hacks to Health, the busy woman's guide to a healthier body and lifestyle, so that you too can develop some of the same strategies that I use in my life in your life to get the same results. So commit to 30 days. That's it. It's not a lot of time, 1 month, so that you too can get the results of a more confident and stronger body without spending countless hours in the gym or the kitchen, because frankly, no one has time for that. So commit today and let me support you on your journey to a healthier and more confident you.
All right, I'm just going to say I stopped listening to her when she said she was in her 50s. That's ridiculous.
I know.
That's really annoying.
Does
She
that,
looks
of
awesome.
course, guarantee that I am going to do that in my 50s? All right, we still just these three, right?
Yeah, just three. So we have Ananya.
Gigi, you want to start?
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, NP grad transition coach. Yeah, I thought she was interesting. She had great energy. I thought she was memorable, believable. She explained who she was and why she was, why she's qualified to help support other NPs through this. She explained what her offering was very clearly. I really liked it.
I liked her as well. I would agree that she's trustworthy. She clearly painted the picture of who could benefit from this. She was very believable. I would remember it, and I thought it was very interesting. I liked her.
Jill?
I think, quite frankly, out of all the ones that we have heard so far, that Ananya did the best job telling us exactly what's in her course, like what you're going to get, the 8-week mentoring. You're going to get, she just did a great overview. So I loved that. I think it's very clear to, potential students or customers or clients that they're going to know exactly what they're getting from her. She had great enthusiasm, really personable, and awesome confidence. So I think she did a great job.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And all I would say, in addition to everything that you guys have said, is that it's amazing what you can say in 2 minutes, because it seems like, it's an infinitely long amount of time, or it's just like no time whatsoever.
Yeah.
All right, to Michelle.
my turn, I guess. Okay, Michelle. I found Michelle interesting. I've got some mixed feelings about hers. I thought she was very presentable. I thought her setting looked fine. She looked professional. I don't know. I started out feeling like she was really reading her whatever she was saying, really like reading it word by word. But then that got better as we went on, I think. She seemed nervous. So I kind of picked up on that. And I know, making a 2-minute video it could be 30 seconds and it could get to your nerves. So that's totally normal, but we want to try not to show that if we can, I guess. But otherwise, she was believable. She met all the marks. And the anxiety subject is very interesting to me. So I would remember it, and I found it interesting.
Gigi.
So I thought she had really good energy. So I thought it was interesting. I thought she was believable. I understood who the target was. I didn't know who she was. So the trustworthy, even though she was coming off with a lot of energy, I was wondering why I should listen to her. And I did think it came off infomercially to me in the beginning. A lot of facts and statistics about anxiety and then the fight or flight. Maybe this is one of the ones that I felt like needed to come down. Like I felt like she was more at like a 12th grade level or 10th grade level and needed to come down to that 6th grade level in her communication. Again, because this is targeted at like the lay person, the common person, right? It's not a nurse or something like that. So I did feel like it was a little too infomercially, but her energy was good and it's an interesting topic.
Yeah, I liked it. The only part that, I find myself finding it unbelievable is when she says that she can fix your anxiety in minutes. Like, part of that, I just don't trust. Like I've as somebody that's anxious, I have tried a lot of things. So thinking that somebody can help me in minutes doesn't seem believable. And she didn't really go into exactly what it is that she does. She said what she doesn't do, which was kind of a relief. She doesn't do meditation and breathing exercises and the same old, but I don't know what she does do. So it's a little like, I'm kind of left hanging.
Yeah. I thought her setting and energy were on point. For me, I also loved that she does say that specifically it's no meditation, no yoga, and no breathing, because I think there's a big kind of industry norm to like, you need to meditate. And that's not for everybody. So I think she will pull some people strictly for that. My struggle was also when she can do it in minutes, it's because of her strategy, and she didn't talk about what the strategy was that she uses that makes you understand why she can crush it in minutes. So I think that was kind of a missed opportunity. But the biggest issue that I struggled with hers was the messaging, was the actual wording. And I'm like, it's a big thing for me. She called anxiety mental illness in the right out of the gate, which I don't think that, the general public, or anyone who has anxiety, that they would consider that to be a mental illness. And really focused on traumas. And I also know a whole lot of people who have anxiety, but if I say, well, it's because of a trauma, they would be like, I didn't have any trauma. I've always been anxious. So I think the mental illness and the trauma wording, that was a miss for me. So we'll see if that really resonates with the audience.
Right. Because that's what it all comes down to is, does your audience like what you're saying? And the best way to find out is to put it out there.
Yep.
All right, Jean.
So I found Jean to be good energy, interesting, memorable, believable. I understood who her target was. I don't know if I found her trustworthy, just because, again, I don't know who she is, right? Like, yes, she's someone who's entering their 50s, and we can tell by her, she looks great. but why are you qualified when there are so many people trying to help people out there? The other thing is she mentioned that she has a guide, and I didn't understand what that meant in relation to, and then she said, let me help you on your journey, but I didn't understand having a guide, how that relates. To me, a guide is a book. So how does Jean support me? Is it a book? Is there some coaching? So I wasn't clear on what the offer was. I think that would have helped. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I found Jean to be interesting, and I would remember her, especially her lime green bra or a sport bra. I thought, as far as her, just looking at it, that she should have done a full body video to kind of show that she's in shape and that she's trying to help everybody on their journey. Then you kind of have to present yourself, like if you're a hairdresser and you want to do someone's hair, you should probably have nice hair, right? It's kind of my idea. So kind of show. However, she did state that she was a nurse practitioner, but what other training do you have? What kind of nurse practitioner, So yes, trustworthiness was a little bit because of that. She did make a clear pitch of who she's talking to. I would remember her, like I said, for a few things, but I think her presentation could have been a lot more polished and a little bit more creative with what she's trying to present.
I would agree, because this is a really tough space to enter, and she is memorable, and she's got the colors going on. Even her website's like this, explosion of color, and I just love that. And Jean herself is just so likable. I mean, even on video, you just see her and you're like, I like her. I really like her, and I almost don't care what her message is because I just like her and I want to listen to her. But having said that, I didn't walk away with I know she's this 30-day challenge and that I'm not going to cook in the kitchen. So that sounds great, or at least that's what I took away from it. But I'm not quite sure what it is that we're going to be doing.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. I would have liked a little bit more about what the course entails, like how it's structured, so that I believe that I can meet my goals with her course, because like you said, it is a very competitive market. I think that really the key that sets Jean apart is that she's a nurse practitioner. So I would have liked to have heard her own that, of why it's beneficial to be in a health, lifestyle, whatever, with a nurse practitioner versus anybody off the street. I think, I would probably have differentiated that a little bit more. She had great energy, I felt like, and she is incredibly personable and likable. So
Yes.
kind of polish that message a little bit more. But yeah, great energy.
Yeah, and she's got a doctorate. I believe it's from Hopkins. And yeah, I mean, she's amazing. There's nothing incredible about her. It's just the message didn't, I think, convey that. All right, so last three, guys. So make sure that you go to tinyurl.com/pitchfest2020, vote for the people in the group. Choose one from at least each group, and there's 4 groups, and you can choose up to 8 people total. Right now we are on the last 3 candidates, and then we're going to review the votes that you guys submit and announce who the next 8 are who are going to move forward. So we have Pam, Rosa, and Holly. And let's see. This is Pam.
Hello, fellow nursepreneurs. Are you tired of the 12-hour shifts, staffing shortages, and trying to get ahead through overtime with a dwindling retirement program? Please know there is a way to improve your life, advance your career, be your own boss, create a legacy, and make a lot of money. Owning a successful private duty home health agency could create such change for you. Hi, my name is Pam Taylor, and I'm proud to call myself a nursepreneur. I am the CEO and owner of North Star Medical Consulting. I am a certified private duty home health and hospice consultant, as well as a certified life coach. I am an expert in planning, optimizing, and launching home health agencies. As a certified consultant, I've helped many others just like you obtain their goals of agency ownership. One by one, I have taught the A to Z of home startup for the last 10 years with my consulting system. Enter the year 2020. With these changing times, I have come to rely more on remote teaching and meetings and less on face-to-face. In doing so, I have now adapted my practice by building a specially curated library of classes and resources for just a fraction of the cost. With this program, I am able to expand my reach and seriously slash my original $30,000 fee and offer it to you at a huge discount. This comprehensive course still includes one-on-one consultation with me, a 10-module on-demand course, as well as weekly masterclass with lively Q&A sessions. All of these resources and more are available to Nursepreneurs for the premier offer of $2,500. So take advantage of this special limited offer. Enroll now and create your new life today. Classes start soon.
Hi everyone, I'm Rosa, and I'm the founder of Nurse Mompreneur, a registered nurse and a health and fitness coach. I help nurses lose up to 10 pounds in 30 days so they can lead with happier, healthier, energized, and motivated lives. I want to show you how to crush your fitness goals quickly and simply, all from the comfort of your home. In fact, all you need to get started is pick any room in your home and you're ready to go. It's that simple. During these challenging times of the pandemic, I made it my mission to help busy nurses find the time to exercise, eat healthier, and remain motivated. As nurses, we obviously know that it's important to exercise and eat right. Unfortunately, we don't always do this. We find ourselves feeling exhausted and having no energy. We give, and give again and again to our families, friends, and patients, and sadly, there's often no room left for us. I know exactly what that's like because I was that person not too long ago. I worked in a busy telemetry unit as a charge nurse, and oftentimes I could barely have the time to take a break. But even when I did, I was unmotivated to eat healthier. Why? Because after hustling and bustling all day, I just wanted something satisfying. I didn't want to count calories. So what happened next? I sought out a personal trainer. I saw some changes towards my fitness goals, but I still wasn't motivated when he wasn't around. Then I found myself planning a wedding, and before you know it, shortly after, I was pregnant. Truthfully, during all this, I devoted little time to focus on my fitness goals. Finally, after the birth of my son, that's when I vowed to lead with a healthier lifestyle. I did not prioritize myself as much as I should have, and naturally, as nurses, we put ourselves last. That's why I developed my signature STAT method to weight loss exclusively for nurses, because I know how demanding it can be on nurses mentally and physically just to get started on their fitness journey. That's why through the STAT method, you will find quick and easy exercise and meal plans to execute to meet your fitness goals without any supplements whatsoever. I have lost more weight in the comfort of my own home than I ever did at the gym. No matter what your working hours are as a nurse, this course is for you. I want you to come on over and meet me in my virtual fitness studio that you can access anywhere, anytime with my group coaching to lose up to 10 pounds in 30 days with my method, the STAT method. See you there.
And last one is Holly.
Fear, panic, anxiety, unsure what my next step would be. Even slightly relieved to finally have an answer for the symptoms that I've been faced for so long. These were the emotions that I felt the day that I was finally diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, the day that my world changed forever. And many MS patients can echo these symptoms. And there are 1 million Americans facing this disease right now, so we definitely are not alone. But there is good news. There is an answer. We don't have to stay this way. We can research our information. We can research our disease, and we can learn to thrive in our new lives. 17 years ago, that's exactly what I did. I used my nursing experience to research the information and search for solution. I turned my emotions into a passion to find answers, and I created a roadmap to help me learn to manage my symptoms and learn to even thrive in my new life. And I'm excited to share this information with you today. I want to help others living with MS to overcome their fears and learn to start thriving in their new lives. Over the 12 weeks, we will walk through each module of instructor-led topics. We will talk about MS in general, as wacky as it is. And then we will look at how to medically and naturally control your symptoms. We will look at your current lifestyle and see if there's any changes that need to happen. And if there are changes, we will develop a plan of how to get those changes to happen. I will teach you what worked for me, and then we will look at things that maybe didn't. Putting you back in the driver's seat to start your journey. And I will be there with you every step of the way. I'm excited to give you the tools and the strategies that I have to help you learn how to control your new life and to start thriving in that new life. Join me today to become an MS thriver.
All right. Oh, we don't want to watch Saturday Night Live. Let's shut this down. I do like Kate McKinnon. All right, guys. First one up is Pam.
Shall I go first? Okay.
Sure.
I liked Pam. I thought she met all of the areas. I found it interesting. I would remember her. Her pitch was believable. She got me right at the beginning, saying how we could make lots of money. Okay, so she had some really good catchphrases. So lots of money and a fraction of the cost was really great to say. And she was very thorough with what she offers in her course. I thought the only thing I didn't like was her background setting, like her whole setup, I guess. But otherwise, her presentation was actually pretty good. For a minute, I thought, well, she could be a little bit more excited about it, but honestly, she was just kind of even, and she seemed she seemed like she was really into it. But she said the right words to keep my attention. So.
Yeah, it's amazing how make money never seems to like
never falls flat, does it?
Never falls flat.
I love it. She also told us her qualifications. She was a certified consultant.
Oh yeah.
So she met all the points. Very trustworthy, believable, all that.
Yeah, good. I agree. I found her interesting, memorable, believable. I understood her target, trustworthy. The only thing, so I thought it was good. The only thing, just being more rehearsed in her pitch, right? Because I could tell she was reading at times because you could see her eyes moving, and then she actually trailed off at the very end. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but her voice got quieter as she got to the end, and so I think it was just practice with it. But overall, I think her message was on point, and she delivered the right.
Yeah, I agree, and I think she did a great job of having a price anchor there, and said, you know, my consulting fees are $30,000, and then she price slashed them for the group setting to 25. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's crazy. Yeah. And when you look at everything that's in her course, it looks like a $30,000 package.
Yeah, I agree. Her message was 100% on point. Like Kimball, you know, I think she immediately captures the audience, saying those right buzzwords and catchphrases. She's an incredible credibility, and I loved that she owned that and said it right up front of, this is why you're going to want to pay attention to me, because I've been doing it for a long time, and you can get that $30,000 consultant fee. She gave a great overview of what you're going to get in her course. So the only miss for me was, you know, that I think could have been improved was the setting where it was shot, as well as the practice, like rehearsing. So I think that would have brought up her energy if she wouldn't have been just reading. And I, like Gigi said, I could tell that she was, you know, reading, and it was a lot of information. So I think that's why, but just practicing that several more times, it becomes much more conversational.
Okay. Rosa.
She had me smiling. She was so bubbly and energetic and like cute, you know. She just was talking too fast. At one point I was like, this is like a normal speed of the video, because it was amazing how I think she was trying to fit a lot into the 2 minutes, but I don't know what she said. I was so distracted by the speed at which she was speaking that unfortunately I feel like I missed so much, even though she was obviously trying to give us so much. So was she memorable? Yes, but I can't say how interesting it was. because I don't remember a lot of it. And I don't remember the rest of it. I don't know if she mentioned what her credentials were. I don't know. I don't know if she did, but yeah, just slowing it down so we could really, because her, like, visually, she was just so lovable that I wanted to hear what she was trying to get across, but I couldn't catch it.
Okay. Rosa, for me, she was very interesting. I agree. She spoke way too fast. Okay. And she was, let me just say, she was vibrant looking. She looked great. And I would believe her in saying that if she said, oh, I did the same thing to lose weight after I had the baby. She did mention that she was planning a wedding and she had a baby. And wow, can't tell you just had a baby, so that's great. So believable, sure. Her topic is interesting to me because anything about weight loss, I absolutely love it, and especially if you can help me get there, right? So that's great. However, her voice, and I don't know if it's specifically just her tone. You know, some people just have a specific little tone or whatever, and we can't help how we sound. But with the speed, I think it really distracted me. So, but she had an interesting message. I would remember it probably because of her tone and how fast she talked. However, I didn't hear many other credentials other than that she went through the weight loss program herself and that she lost lots of weight. So I would say that, you know, she could have slowed down, practiced. She could have been more polished, and probably slowing down would have helped the delivery a lot better.
Yeah, visually she's stunning, and you know, her voice and everything makes her very, very memorable. So, and then you know, she's very likable as well. So she's definitely got that on her side. I think she does need to insert a little bit more credibility in terms of you know, who she is. And I think this is a perfect example of less is more, like saying less and at a slower pace. I do like the virtual studio. That sounded interesting. That, you know, especially, but I don't know if it's virtual live studio. Is it something we're doing together? Is this like pre-recorded? Because for me, it makes a big difference. Like, I don't want pre-recorded videos because I'm not motivated. So, like, I guess I need a little more information on the virtual studio before I sign up, because I would like to do it in the comfort of my own home, because I don't want anybody watching that hot mess going on.
I would agree on many of the things that were said so far. She is so vibrant, and and bubbly. I think Gigi, you said the word bubbly. I think that's a perfect description of Rosa. She just has so much energy and excitement, and it matches perfectly with what she's trying to do, because that's what I would need in order to keep me motivated, right? To do the healthy, you know, lifestyle and weight loss and exercise. I also love that she immediately came right out of the gate with her promise that she helps nurses lose 10 pounds and, you know, in 30 days. So I liked that. That grabbed my attention right away, because I'm like, ooh, I could lose 10 pounds. Like, yes, sign me up for that. But the speed is what I think just definitely we've all kind of agree. It was just way too much. And I think it was her excitement. She wanted to tell us all the things. But unfortunately, by telling people all the things at one time, you can lose them, right? Because they can't absorb as much as you want to give them. So you have to give it to them in doses. So I think if she trims down the amount of information she's going to give, she would be much more effective and just keep that awesome energy and, you know, vibrancy in her message, because that definitely resonates.
Right. Like, what's the one thing you want somebody to walk away knowing about you?
Yeah.
All right.
And
So
I like
Holly.
the virtual gym. That actually piqued I really liked the virtual gym too. So
yeah, I did too. Last but not least is Holly.
And go, Gigi.
Okay, I'll start. So it's a very serious, so Holly MS, very serious topic. I found her believable. I know that, she talked about her own experience. I understand who the target was. I did find her trustworthy. I did find it interesting. I think Holly needed more polish in her presentation, so a lot more practice. And I feel like she needed to smile more. There was hope. There's hope in her message, right? She's talking about not only surviving, but thriving with this. And so it's very hopeful, but yet she looked very grave during the presentation. And I wanted to see more like something more uplifting in the way that she was presenting. So that was kind of the vibe overall. And I do think with more practice and more polish, that I thought her wording and her messaging was good. It was more of the presentation, I think, that needs a little bit of work.
Okay, I agree with Gigi. I think her message was interesting, and her presentation definitely needed more work. I don't know that I would remember it other than in a positive light. I don't know that I would, because I believed her when she said she had MS before. I feel like that was very believable. How can I say this? I just felt like she needed to be a little bit more vibrant. I know it's a serious topic, but you're also wanting to help people, and so you have to put that tone out there that, hey, yes, this is something, but I can help you, and I can make it better, and we can do better and live happy. And I just didn't get that feel from her. However, I feel like, and as far as her credentials, I have no idea, other than that she is a living testimony of it herself. What other credentials do she have in this area? So, I know who she was targeting. Trustworthiness, I'm not sure about her qualifications. Believable, I believed that she's been through it, and she could probably offer some really good suggestions and advice, and a course that would help people. But she was just really, yes, grave about it. So a little bit more enthusiasm.
Jill?
Katie? Oh, okay. I'm right there with everybody else. I think that it was 100% presentation was the struggle. And again, keep in mind that all of these contestants, for the most part, this is the first time they've ever done anything like this, got in front of the camera and, made their pitch a few weeks ago. They didn't even know what this idea was or how to formulate it. So again, kudos to everybody who has, all of our candidates and contestants, or whatever you want to call them. But it just needed a lot more practice on the presentation part, and you just get more comfortable with your message. I agree. And coming again from the cancer world, it's a very serious topic. The last thing that they need is more heavy seriousness to it. And that's what I felt like the presentation kind of did. It really is a huge message of hope for her to be able to talk to newly diagnosed MS that she's been thriving for 17 years. That's a huge message of hope. And I would have loved to have seen that really come through for her. So to me, it was, presentation, owning it, show up that you are a thriver, you're vibrant, and, you can help someone follow in your footsteps.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I love what Holly's doing, and her message is very powerful. And, I don't think it came through on this video, but what she is doing, what she has the potential to do, oh my God, she's going to blow it out of the water. I think we just need to, maybe help her with the enthusiasm a little bit. And then she's one that I see, it's just a straight path up.
Yeah. I think it's just confidence, and that's it. When she gets more practice and more confident, I think her natural personality will come out. I think it's, that's mostly nerves, and turns into or appears to be seriousness.
All right, so I have an awful lot of Pitchfest responses to go through, and I need the judges to tally up their the top 8. So what I'm going to suggest is we're all going to put our mics on mute, and we're going to return at 5:45 to announce the winners, who are going to move on to round 2. So Gigi, Kimball, and Jill, send me who you have, and I'm going, if you guys, once you send them, if you want to just talk amongst yourselves, I'm just going to tally up the pitch responses real fast. So I'm going to mute myself, and I'll be back at 5:45 with the results.
All right, it's 5:45. I was just going to comment that, again, thank you to all who have stayed. We know this was a long live, but we appreciate the support for all the nurses who came out and were willing to put themselves out there and present their pitch. And we've had some, great comments. Eileen just commented that, this was such a great opportunity to get feedback on their pitches, and, just wished everybody good luck before we announce the winners, at least the winners to the next round.
All right, so we have tallied up the judges' votes first and foremost, and then we are looking at the audience participation votes as well. And thank you so much for voting for your favorite pitch and giving us, because we did have a couple where the judges, we weren't entirely sure, like maybe two of us voted for one person and then two. So your votes split the tie, and they helped us to change our minds about who we're going to be the winners here. So, and I have to say, like, I came into this thinking I knew exactly who was going to get what, and now I'm a little confused. So I'm surprised because they weren't all my my initial thoughts of who was going to take this to the next round. So without further ado, our winners for the next round, so we're just going to the next round.
Going to round
and
two.
they're going to compete as well. So going to round two. So first one is Ananya. So congratulations, Ananya. You're going to round two. Our second one is Jenna. Very exciting. There's a huge echo. Do you hear the echo?
I cannot, actually.
Do you guys hear an echo?
No.
Okay. All right. The third person going to the next round is Vanessa. The fourth person going to the next round is Vivian. The fifth person is Anna. The sixth person was Pam. Oops, I spelled Am. I meant Pam.
Pam, yeah.
Oh. The seventh person is Jean. And our final contestant who is going to round two is Rosa. Okay, so congratulations to everybody, all the contestants who participated. Tomorrow's round two is going to be a 5-minute pitch. So they will re-emphasize what it is that they're talking about, but they go into more depth about their pitch, and we'll have our judges who will help us talk through the pitches and what goes into a 5-minute pitch, because if you can't keep somebody's attention for 2 minutes, it's going to be hard to keep it for 5 minutes. So the 5-minute pitch is actually, I think the 2-minute pitch is harder, but the 5-minute pitch is going to be more substantive. So we have a bigger expectation of what we're going to hear. Jill, Kimball, Gigi, any last thoughts?
I would like to just encourage everyone and say that it is difficult doing these videos, and I just want to say that you all did a great job. So and stay encouraged. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you all some encouragement and tell you how much we enjoyed that and how honored we are to be able to participate in this process. And even if you didn't make it to the next round, it doesn't mean that your idea is not good. It's just that, we all need more practice. And so don't give up. Keep going.
I love that. And we talked about this a lot in the course. Katie and I have both said how just blown away we are by the group of nurses that have come through and their ideas and the impact that we know that they're going to make with their courses and, some of them with their businesses, because the need is there and they are, we firmly believe that they are the right people to help solve those problems for those who are struggling. And it's always just work in progress. It's always first iteration, second iteration. We talk about that a lot. So any of the feedback that was given today, it's all said with love. And it's just for you to take back and be able to continue to make your course and make your pitches stronger for the next round.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback off of what Gigi said. Everybody's idea is incredible. We love your ideas, but you're here with a cold audience who doesn't know you and doesn't love you yet. And one of the things that the 2-minute pitch does is endears people to you. So, and captures their attention. So that's the piece. And that's something I had to work on a lot. And it wasn't that the idea wasn't good. It was my pitch needed some work. And that's, please, please, please stick with it. All of your ideas are amazing. They can all be successful. But we need to work on, and even the people that are going to round 2, they need to work on the pitch. I need to work on my pitch. I know the other judges need to work on their pitch as well. It's a constant iteration.
Yeah, it's always work in progress. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but great job to everybody.
Yay! All right, guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow for round 2, 4 p.m. Eastern, and the links will go out, and Facebook Lives will be scheduled. All right, guys.
All right.
Good night.